We chat with author Nancy Vial Shoemaker about her latest works at Barnstable 375 and Barnstable Remembered. On this episode of Barnstable Today, it's Thursday, August 14th, 2014. I'm Sarah Mannel.
And I'm here at the Old Selectmen's Building in West Barnstable with Nancy Vial Shoemaker, a printer, graphic designer, and owner of West Barnstable Press. Nancy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So nice to be here in West Barnstable, of course, in the year that we're celebrating our town's 375th anniversary. And the reason we're here is to talk about the book that you helped put together and that you published called Barnstable at 375. And tell me a little bit about this wonderful book.
Well, we started thinking about the book about a year ago, and then suddenly I think December panic set in, and I decided to divide it up into 7 villages, 7 pages for each of the villages, and then further divided so that there's a history of each village. There's also a little bit about what's happened in the last 25 years, because I had worked on the 350th book 25 years ago, and I thought it would be nice to talk about a fairly recent history also. And then in the very end of each section, Jim Gould did for I think 4 out of the 7 villages. He did a beautiful walking tour guide with beautiful little drawings and then descriptions of all the structures on it. So
that's right, and so people can turn to those pages and look at all of the historical buildings or historical sites in town and give themselves a walking tour of the villages.
Yes.
It's really wonderful. And so let's talk about those last 25 years, because as you said, you put together the 350th book, and a lot has changed here in town in the past 25 years.
Well, as Jessica Rapp-Grassetti, the council president, has said in the beginning, that really technology and the World Wide Web is what's differentiated us in the last even 10 years, but 25 years since we last did a book. And it's made researching a lot easier, and I hope it's going to also keep books alive. As a printer and designer of books, I want to make sure the printed word is still always something people will like. And in the case, I'm digressing a little, but in the case of this book, we have a lot of research information and those walking tours that I hope people will consider this a resource, a place to keep it in your glove compartment, grab it, and walk on a tour of Centerville when you're in the area, or keep it in your house and look at the wonderful information that Duncan Gibson wrote about all the different books, publications that have been written about the town of Barnstable.
It's pretty amazing to see that list of just how many books have been written about our town.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll be adding more as the years go on, because there are a lot of books and a lot of good books out just recently about town of Barnstable on the Cape.
Absolutely. And again, this Barnstable at 375, it's wonderful and in color, and there are so many just amazing historical pictures. And I think it is important, as you mentioned, in this digital age. I think people still do want something tangible. They want something that they can carry with them and touch and look and feel, and really get a sense of what our town is all about. And, looking through the book, it really does give you a nice snapshot of what our 7 villages are. And they're all so unique.
They are. They are so unique. As the cover shows of the 7 different villages, every one of them has its own flavor, and every one is so interesting. I realized that more than ever driving around at 6 or 7 in the morning, taking a lot of these pictures when the lighting was right on a certain building, and I sort of fell in love with our town all over again by working on this book.
Now, I know that you have spent many years researching and doing history for various villages and the town itself. Did you learn anything new in the process of putting together this book?
Yes. I mean, it made me really become more of a scholar, really study, really double, triple check all of our dates, as did Jessica, and also Lynn Poyant was a wonderful partner for me in helping with proofreading and double checking facts and so on. She was a pleasure to work with.
She is a wonderful go-to person when it comes to getting those facts exact.
Yeah. And also all the historical societies had something to do with each chapter. Many of them wrote their own, or they certainly read what I had written and approved or or changed a few things. So every single historical society was a big help, except there's none for Hyannis, so I hope someone steps up and starts a Hyannis Historical Society.
Hyannis does need to get, because there's a rich history in the village of Hyannis. There really is. Yeah. And something that we would like to see in the coming years. So, this book not only celebrates our 375th, but I think it gives both people who have lived here a long time a new look at the town, but perhaps our visitors as well.
Absolutely. And again, to be the little crass marketer here, real estate people say they love giving this book or something, any other books like that are about their town or village to people who have just recently moved here. So we want real estate people to buy them for their clients.
Well, and speaking of marketing, this book, I can't believe it's only $10.
Yes.
That's a great price, so easy to pick up, and people can find it all over town. You can buy it at Town Hall, you can buy it at our various village libraries, historical societies. Is there anywhere else that people can buy it that you'd like to let everyone know about?
I think you've covered it. Libraries, most of the libraries, historical societies, we're going to be having it sold, and I'm sure it's going to sell, I hope it will sell well, at the picnic, which is September
21st, I believe it's September 21st, the picnic, which is, we're very excited about that as well. And we'll be adding the listings, too, of where you can find this book on Barnstable375.com. Our website. Now, while you were working on this, Nancy, you were also working on another book, which I haven't had a chance to look as in depth as Barnstable at 375, but this is West Barnstable Remembered. And of course, we're here in West Barnstable today. There are some absolutely fantastic old pictures of West Barnstable in here.
Yeah. That book we've been working on for 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
And it's from the West Barnstable Historical Society. We've been collecting pictures. Weldon Library had quite a collection. Martin Wertinen, who's no longer with us, but was a wonderful historian for our village and the town. He collected a lot of the photographs. A lot of people did. And this book is different. The other one, we were really trying to cram as much information in, and we only had 64 pages, and I hope we did a good job of it. But this one's a little bit more text, more remembering of how it was when but Helmi Velissis or someone from the area went to school, what it was like going to school in the community building over here. Betty Nielsen talks about this building, and we're in the Old Selectmen's Building, which has just celebrated its 125th anniversary. And we had 5 selectmen, and there have not been selectmen elected since 1989. Here for the 1889 building that was celebrating its birthday. And we had something like 25 or 30 council members.
Right. It was to see the picture of everyone all together was really amazing. It was what a group,
wonderful. Yeah, and they were all proud to be here. And so this building was the town building for the town of Barnstable. Hard to believe.
I know, it really is.
And over my shoulder was the vault where all town documents were kept. A little smaller town back then.
Definitely.
But what was Betty Nielsen, this is going back to remembering things. She remembers coming in this building and voting with maybe about 15 or 20 people, I believe, now don't quote me, I think it was in the late 40s, deciding to have streetlights. All these little innovations, and just a lot of fun remembrances, some broader, larger pictures in the book.
Right,
so
and as you
think about,
how the town develops, and when you say something like thinking about streetlights, that's something that has always been there as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So to be able to watch it develop from just the very beginnings.
There's a picture in front of the general store of Betty's mother sitting on this big reel of wire when they were starting to wire up the village, and I believe that's in the 30s.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So really all sorts of
No, it wasn't.
I'm
sorry, she'll get mad at me. It was earlier.
Earlier than the 30s.
We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will air our weekly arts and culture segment. We'll talk with Director of Leisure Services, Patty Machado, and we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.